we now have the putty and wash index of the wax ups that I took earlier on. What I'd like to do now is just trim up these excess parts and just improve the shape of this. I'm just using a normal scalpel. Okay, it's all ready to use now. So I'd like to try the index in the mouth now. So I'm just going to bring that round here. This is from the wax ups. That sits in nice and snug. Another great little tip is just to mark the midline of the face onto the index, so that when I'm seating it properly live from behind the patient, I'll know exactly where to place it or the angle it's in. We're now going to make the trial smile. We've got Luxatemp B1 that we're using. Yep. So what I'm going to do is spot etch just certain of the teeth where I did the veneers. So a little bit of acid etch right in the middle of each tooth. In this particular case, I think these 4 would be sufficient. The rest of the teeth are root filled. I've placed a very, very thin layer of Vaseline over the composite cores because I'm using a composite material for the trial smile and I don't want it to bond to those teeth. So literally 15-20 seconds here. I'm just going to wash this off now. Okay, gently dry. Need gloomer now, please. So on the vital teeth, I'm just going to apply a little bit of gloomer, like so. The next thing I'm going to use after this is Optibond FL2. This is the partially filled resin, so it's important to use only FL2 rather than Optibond Solo or any other bonding resin, because you don't want the temporaries to bond on too strongly. So just a very thin layer of the Optibond FL2 here at this point. I'm going to gently blow dry this as well. Leave that on for 10-15 seconds, and then we're going to light cure for about 20 seconds each. Okay, let's go. So I'm just going to demonstrate the introduction of the Luxatemp Star material into the putty index as we do the temporaries, the trial smile. So I'm going to start, this is the upper left 5 area, I'm going to go all the way to the upper right 4, and the important thing to do this is reasonably fast. I normally time this, so I get it done within about 2.5 minutes from start to finish to set in the mouth. So I'll start syringing there and keep going around, keeping the tip in the material. That's really it. It's fully loaded. This would then be introduced into the mouth and seated very firmly. And after 2.5-3 minutes, you take it out. Notice we've got good palatal reference against the palate, so that we got very positive stop and you get no distortion anteriorly, so the flash is very thin. And then I'm going to bring it back into the mouth. Just relax your lip. And I'm going to use that marker so I know I'm fully seated. I can feel positive pressure, it's firmly seated, and I'm going to hold this in place nice and tight now. That's the key thing. And you need a good amount of putty in the palate so that there's no movement anteroposteriorly of the putty index at all. So with 4 fingers, there's fairly firm pressure holding in place now for a good 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to take this out now. So just literally in one go, just remove that down. And lo and behold, all beautiful white teeth in one go. You can see there's a very thin flash. All the excess has come out, which is always a very good sign that the putty index was made properly. And there's almost no flash palatally, so did a good job there. Wax ups were excellent, so, and you can see now my work is going to be absolutely minimum finishing these off. So I've got a Mitchell's trimmer here, and I'm just going to be removing any slight bits of excess flash of the Luxatemp. And really, this is beautiful. There's very, very minimum amounts. Also, you've got to look out for the occlusal surfaces of the last teeth, the 6s. There's normally some on there, so just remember that for the occlusion checking later. Then I'm going to switch to the fast handpiece using this flame-shaped burr, very thin burr. Have some suction please now. A little bit of gentle drilling now. I'm just adjusting the temporaries slightly, okay? So close slightly, and put the water on. So a little bit of drilling. So what I'm doing now is just going around the cervical margins of the crowns and just removing any very thin flash, very gently. So I do all that labially and palatally. That's my first objective when I sort the temporaries out, before I do any aesthetic changes. So if there's a slight void or a little air bubble, then you can use Luxaflow, because this comes in matched color to the Luxatemp. This is Luxaflow B1. So there's just a tiny little void here on the inside, on the palatal side of this premolar. So I'm just going to add a little bit here. Then I'm going to use this other sort of spade instrument, that's what I call it. Let's get the shape perfect. And we need a light, please, now. So very often you get one or two slight air blows on the incisal edges, and then you've got the matched material, which is perfect just to get the repair done. So another thing I can do is just add a little bit of Luxaflow here on this upper right canine, because it's actually slanting in slightly too much. I just want to improve the labial contour, bring it out slightly more bulbous. So I'm going to add a little bit in the mid position of the tooth, making almost like a little ridge. Have a light, please, here. So the other great thing about Luxaflow is you can make shape changes. You can add to the buccal fullness, apart from just filling in the voids and things that need attention, they're obvious. And this will obviously help improve the trial smile for the patient and yourself to diagnose. That's fine, take it out. Then I'm just going to add a little bit here like this, like a flowing movement. Actually just bringing out the whole of the labial contour. You can change the line angles, you can make teeth look wider, you can make them look narrower. It's all very quick and easy to do. So we're going to just build up the distal aspect of this canine now. So once again, I'm just adding the Luxaflow here. Keeping the tip in the material, just letting it flow out slowly. And then this instrument here, the spade, is fantastic. It just very gently manipulating the material into the right position. I like to get as much work done as I can just by playing with the material rather than drilling later. Can the light, please? Just put that Lycra on there for about 10-15 seconds. You don't need any etch or bonding or anything. From my experience, it just sticks to the material and that's it. You don't have any problems of the material coming off, which is also a big advantage. Take it out. So I'm going to add one other little bit here.